Hey guys, welcome back to MFO. Appreciate you tuning in to another episode. Being an old dog, I like the expression you can't teach an old dog new tricks because every once in a while, this old dog learns a little something new. And today we're talking about lithium batteries and some myths that go along with charging lithium batteries. I'm going to tell you where they came from and whether or not they're actually true, and knowing the details about where it came from kind of gives you the, okay, wait a minute, this is what I can do to combat that when it comes to charging lithium batteries. We're going to talk about it when we come back. Stick around, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher, and we're going to be talking about some of the myths surrounding lithium batteries. Here's the biggest one. One of my buddies who keeps his boat here was saying, listen, I do not charge. I check my Bluetooth on my lithium batteries, and I use that to know when it's time to charge my lithium batteries, because I have heard it said, Mark, that every time you charge your lithium batteries, that's one cycle that you're taking off of it. Lithium batteries have a set amount of charging cycles that they can go through. And when you reach that set amount, boom, your lithium battery is done. There is a certain number of times you can charge a lithium battery, and then that's it. And I don't want to just charge it every time I put it in the garage and just start, having that meter run where it's, okay, you charged it, that's one. You charged it again tomorrow, that's another. And sooner or later, I'm going to hit that magic number where I've used all of those charging cycles and I wore through it. I want to keep the optimum life and own this lithium battery for as long as I can. So I'm not going to just charge it every time I can. Well, that is sort of a myth. So let's get into it. Is he correct? Do lithium batteries have a charging cycle limit? Do they have a limited number of charging cycles that you can charge on a lithium battery? The answer is yes. He was right about that. There are a certain number of times you can charge a lithium battery, and once that battery is hit that limit, that battery will be done. However, if I were to go and charge my lithium batteries right now, and if my batteries are currently at 80% charged, when I charge it, I am not, to get it back up to 100%, I am not using a full charge cycle. I am using a 20% charge cycle. So unlike what my buddy is thinking where, I just used a charge cycle, that's one out of the number that I get before I get down to I've used up my maximum, I'm really only using a fifth or 20% of that charge cycle. So if I charge my batteries 4 times this week, but each time I'm going from, say, 75% to 100, I've used one charge cycle, even though I've charged them 4 times. So the myth is based on fact. Yes, you do have a limited number of charge cycles that you can use on a lithium battery. But where you aren't getting this information accurate is that you're not using a charge cycle when you top off your batteries from, say, 80% to 100 and you use 20%. That's 20% of a charge cycle, not a full charge cycle. Okay. Now here's another thing to pay attention to, however, because when I don't want you to think that I'm advocating charging your battery when they're at 80%, for example. Because to be honest, and I'm going to use some terms here, just a lithium battery is actually its most happy. It's at its perfect place, somewhere between, we'll call it 20 to 25% and 80%, 20 and 80%. That's when a lithium battery is actually at its most happy place. It's actually better at 80% than it is at 100% when it comes to its status. So if I had a battery and I'm looking on my app and my battery is currently at 80%, I'm not going to go ahead and charge that battery from 80 to 100 just so that I feel better that, oh, I got 100%. 80% is just fine, and it's going to do everything I want it to do for the next day of fishing. And so I'm 100% fine with not charging that lithium battery when it's at 80%. On the other side, if my battery is getting anywhere to where it risks getting below 20%, I'm absolutely going to charge it because I do not want my lithium battery to get below 20% if I have something to do with it. So if it's at 35% and I've got a pretty long, hard day of fishing coming up tomorrow, I'm going to charge my battery. I don't want to work that battery down below the 20%. So I think we've, tackled a couple of things here that guys they're not wrong when they say there's a limited number of cycles that you have when you're charging lithium batteries. But they are wrong to think that every time you plug it in, you're using up a charging cycle. You're just using up the percentage of a charging cycle that it takes to get your battery from whatever current status it is now back to 100%. So again, if your battery's at 50% and you charge it, you've just used 50% of a charging cycle. So that's kind of what to think about when you're looking at lithium batteries. Again, I highly recommend Norsk lithium batteries if you're in the market for them. They're great. They got the Bluetooth capability. They got so many things that are very worthwhile. Plus, as I've said in the past, I have never, ever had an issue with any of the boats that I've run using Norse batteries in terms of power, in terms of running out, in terms of having dead batteries, anything like that. So I highly recommend you check those out. I'll put a link in the video. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to Mark Fisher. If you haven't, please think about hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, and you'll get our content Monday through Friday, and we would appreciate that. And we will see you tomorrow for an Underwater Wednesday episode. We haven't been in the pool for a while, so we're going to be back in the pool tomorrow to show you an Underwater Wednesday episode. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Take care.